Now, it used to be the hares that went mad in March. Now it's just the hare brain, because this week's video diary is all about tweets. And first up is my old pal, the Donald, because he tweeted just the other day that trade wars are good. They are easy to win. Now let's just examine this latest pearl of wisdom from across the Atlantic from the White House. Well, firstly, what's the implications? Well, I would have thought it holds Brexit below the waterline. Trump torpedoes Brexit. Because if you remember, just a year ago when Trump came in, that Liam Fox, International Trade Secretary, perambulating the world, said, look, America's going to put us first in the queue. He hot-footed it to the States to make sure that Brexit Britain would be first in the queue for a trade deal. We're going to be first in the queue for a trade deal with a president who thinks that trade wars are good and easy to win. Brexit hold below the waterline by torpedo Trump. But the second implication is even more serious, because lots of people say, oh, don't pay any attention to the Trump tweets. He doesn't really mean it. It's early in the morning. He just wanted something to say. The trouble is he's lined up a 25% tariff on steel and a 10% tariff on aluminium. The president has already fired the first shots in his trade war, which is good and easy to win. But the reality is quite different, of course. Trade wars are a bit like real wars. That is to say, nobody wins. Everybody gets poorer. And what Trump is planning won't just make the United States poorer, it'll make everybody else poorer, it'll certainly make the UK poorer, and scupper any prospect of a wonderful, super, fabulous trade deal with the United States of America. So the first tweet of the week from the mad Brexiteers came from the White House itself, and the Donald who torpedoed the Brexit tanker. Well, second up for the mad tweets of the hare-brained is two chums having a convivial conversation over Twitter last weekend. The first chum, whose name is George, he tweeted out, "We got there in the end. A remarkable national effort. Thank you." And that was responded to by his chum, whose name is David, who said, "It was the right thing to do." Who are these two posh chums? Well, the first is George Osborne, erstwhile Chancellor of the Exchequer, and the second was David Cameron, erstwhile Prime Minister. Two boys with nothing to do now but tweet to each other convivially over the airways. And what they were celebrating the fact that the current borrowing is at last in balance with current spending. Now, it's 3 years after George Osborne said it was going to happen, but the two guys are congratulating each other and a bit of backslapping over Twitter about it being the right thing to do, that austerity has all been worthwhile. Trouble is, of course, that the two chums didn't actually have to face austerity. It was other people who had to face austerity, the people who lost their jobs, living standards still 8% down, the slowest economic recovery since the Black Death, as Professor Danny Blanchflower reminds us, and a total national output which is still about 10% lower than it should have been if growth had been in a normal trend. About the same amount we're going to lose through Brexit, according to the government's own forecasts. So there they are in their semi-retirement, the two comfortably off chums, congratulating each other on the success of their economic policy, with ne'er a thought from the millions of people who've suffered in the hard end of austerity. So let's have a look at these two offending tweets. There they are, the two chums slapping each other in the back. My advice to George and David, if you're going to do this sort of stuff, best not to do it in the social media, because doing it like this makes everyone realize what a complete couple of out-of-touch chums you really are. Now this young lady is Charmaine Laurie. Who is Charmaine Laurie? Well, she is the Edinburgh bus driver who pulled off this extraordinary feat. Let's have a look at it once again.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Now that manoeuvre, which I promise you, I mean, I know Sir Jackie Stewart, and I don't believe even Jackie Stewart could have pulled that one off. I think the significance of it, apart from being an incredibly skillful and wonderful thing to do and saving a tragedy and saving lives, is I think it's great that it's happened in the week of International Women's Day. Because it seems to me that from hereafter, every time anyone says that women drivers are anything other than totally proficient, all you have to do is to show that video. I think women everywhere are going to have that on their mobile phones or other devices, and any time any daft man says anything about women drivers, just play that video. Charmaine, you've not only done an incredibly skillful thing, you've buried for all time the mythology about women drivers.